Okay, now we want to talk about functions and their graphs. So generally, we put along this horizontal axis, we put our inputs, and along the vertical axis, we put our outputs. Now, it may be switched in some cases, but that's generally how we graph them in Algebra 1, is we say that our inputs come along this axis and our outputs along that axis. So this is generally x, and this is generally f of x, or it's a y, and y is a function of x. Um, so you can check to see if something is a function just by using this what we call vertical line test. The vertical line test says if you can pass a vertical line through more than one point, so this is more than one point, it's not a function. So if you see something like this, and then you can pass a vertical line and it touches more than one point. So let's just say that that line hit both of those. This is a single input, right? And it's giving me two different outputs. So this would not be a function. Okay. And you can see like any sort of curve, like just say the curve looks like this. You know, it's as I go along, if I can pass a vertical line, if it touches more than one point at any point, so here it's 1 point, 1 point, 1 point, and you see that along this whole system, this whole curve, it never hits more than 1 point, then I can say that this is a function. So this is a function. So a couple of examples of functions that we see around are lines, right? If we see a line going like this, that you can just right away tell it's only going to hit 1 point every place that I put a vertical line. Now, a vertical line, right? If the line is a vertical line, then it actually hits all the points, right? So vertical lines are not functions. And if you try to write a function, y is equal to something x plus something, you could never find a value that would work for that. This is actually if this is, I don't know, 5, this is the line, the line you could graph it as saying x is equal to 5. But this is not a function of y, right? It's just a value for x. And every value of y um, gives you an x value of 5 in that case. Okay, you can look at other examples like um, this sort of thing. If we had they call this an asymptote. And at that point, it would not be a function because you cannot get any output for the value of 0. But everywhere else, it is a function. So it only hits 1 point everywhere else. You could have maybe a circle in the plane, right? Is this a function or is it not a function? Well, if you can pass a vertical line and it hits more than 1 point, and here it hits 2, then this is not a function. So not a function. So actually, this one I want to say function except at x equals 0, right? Other examples, if you have a parabola, right, something that kind of looks like that. This is a function because everywhere it's just a single point. But if you had a parabola going the other way, like this, see, this is not a function. So function, not a function. Okay, and you could say some things about functions and their graphs. You could say this is increasing, and you always read functions from left to right. So I'm going to say it's increasing here. As you increase the input, you increase the output. But here it's actually decreasing, right? As I increase the input, the output is decreasing. So you want to draw kind of like the slope of that curve at a given point. And here it would be flat, right? So this is where it has no increase or decrease. It's just flat. So you have increasing functions where they're increasing as they go to the right and decreasing as they go to the right. And you read it just like you read a book from left to right. Okay.